For rappers who have broken through to the mainstream, money, fame, and power come in seemingly infinite quantities. With all these resources at the tips of your fingers, it's easy to see how one might be inspired to live life a little recklessly. And sometimes its effects are a little more tangible, like speeding down the highway in a car that costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. When this happens, it's only a matter of time until someone crashes their car. Luckily, no one on this list has been seriously injured, but many of them did lose cars expensive enough to put a serious dent in their wallets. While not every crash on this list was the driver's fault, most of them probably could have been avoided. Number 10. YG. Regrettably, not all incidents on this list carry the nonchalant tone of backing a car into another. In 2018, YG faced a genuinely perilous car accident. To put it bluntly, he was heading to his car after concluding a recording session when he found himself confronted by a gunman who fired 3 shots, one of which hit his hip. In his initial interview following the incident, YG shared with Billboard.com, "After I got shot, I'm telling everybody take me to the hospital because I can't die. We hopped in my homie's car and bam, we got into a car accident. We hit an island trying to avoid another car. We had to hop out of the totaled car and hopped in another car at the hospital. We had to tell people, take me seriously right now. You don't even understand what's going on." It was wild. Fortunately, YG made a full recovery, but it was undoubtedly a frightening ordeal. Number 9. Lil Pump. Lil Pump really loves his cars, but his first one is still very special to him, despite some things he did to it. A $50,000 car bought by someone like Lil Pump may not sound expensive, but when it's a $50,000 Porsche being bought by a kid who just came into cash, that's a very big distinction. But it's the timing that singles out this particular car, as this was his first car purchase after he struck it big with his hit song Gucci Gang. So this car has a lot of significance for him, you have to admit. But thankfully for both him and the car, the damage was very minimal. Just a hit on the hood and the door. He took pictures of it to show it off later, but that is a lesson that you can't just go and try your cars like they're unbreakable, because they're not. Number 8. Post Malone. Post Malone, in many ways, is one of the most unique rappers in the world, from his looks to his songs and more. He has a lot that sets him apart from the crowd. Another thing that sets him apart is his love of cars. His entire collection is worth over $4 million and includes a variety of vintage and extremely rare vehicles. Amongst that collection, or should we say was a Rolls-Royce Wraith, a $320,000 vehicle. While out for a drive in California's San Fernando Valley, Post's car was hit by a driver piloting a Kia. Post, who was sitting in the passenger seat of the car, was spared the brunt of the force as the Kia slammed into the front driver's side of the Wraith. The force caused the Wraith to spin out of control on the street and hit a light post, damaging it even more. Authorities confirmed that Post's account of the event was accurate and that his party was not at fault. No drugs or alcohol are thought to have been a factor in the crash. Sadly, for Post, the Wraith was totaled, but when TMZ got there, he didn't seem upset at all. On a lighter note, soon after the incident, Post decided to comfort himself with the purchase of a replacement vehicle, a $420,000 Rolls-Royce Phantom. So, while it may not have been the best night ever for Post, it did end up with him getting an even better new car. Number 7. NBA Youngboy. In contrast to Post Malone, who experienced a total loss with a car he owned, NBA Youngboy faced an unfortunate situation in 2017. A car accident left the vehicle he was driving completely wrecked, and the twist? It was a Lamborghini Spider, and it wasn't even his. According to police reports, the Spider was discovered crashed and severely damaged on a residential street in Los Angeles. The exotic car, rented from a luxury car rental in LA, incurred over $350,000 worth of damage, and NBA Youngboy was absent when the car was retrieved. Adding to the predicament, Youngboy wasn't authorized to drive the vehicle. The Spider had been rented by his manager just a day before, who had signed a contract stipulating that he would be the sole driver. Facing charges from the exotic car rental seeking payment for the damages, Youngboy, along with his manager, became embroiled in a lawsuit. It's worth noting that Youngboy was only 17 years old at the time of the incident. Lil Yachty. Not all car crashes unfold as dramatically as Youngboy's abandoned Lamborghini. Sometimes they result from bad weather, poor road conditions, and sheer chance. Such was the case for Lil Yachty in June 2020 while driving down Georgia State Road 400 in Atlanta. Caught in the midst of a severe storm, Yachty, who had just purchased a brand new Ferrari 488, encountered hazardous conditions due to water buildup on the road. As per the police report, the standing water led to Yachty losing control of the vehicle, resulting in a high-speed collision with the median wall. The Ferrari then slid over 770 feet across 7 lanes of traffic before ultimately hitting a road barrier and coming to a halt. Emergency services responded to the scene, and fortunately, Yachty emerged from the crash with minor injuries to his arm. However, his wallet might have suffered a bit of a blow itself. A new Ferrari 488 typically costs around $330,000, and the impact on his insurance premiums remains uncertain. Number 5. Offset. One of the more severe incidents on this entire list involved Migos rapper Offset in 2018, nearly costing him his life. In May of that year, Offset was behind the wheel of a Dodge Challenger Demon, an exceptionally fast version of the Dodge Challenger with a top speed of 196 miles per hour when he lost control of the vehicle and crashed. According to sources, the accident occurred as Offset tried to avoid a pedestrian while speeding, resulting in a swerve that led to the Hellcat crashing. The car was severely damaged, and Offset was trapped inside the vehicle. Luckily, a man by the name of Jamar saw the crash and helped a wounded Offset escape the vehicle before taking him to receive medical attention. Offset later showed Jamar his gratitude by purchasing the man a brand new Nissan Altima as a thank you. And it's not hard to see why he did that, because if Jamar wasn't there was a very real chance that Offset could have died in that crash. Number 4. Soulja Boy. Usually, when Soulja Boy grabs the headlines for creating a stir, it involves something he said on social media or his questionable gaming system ventures. However, in 2012, Soulja faced accusations of causing a car accident in Los Angeles. While driving a Bentley through Hollywood, Soulja was alleged to have executed a reckless lane change, colliding with a stationary car waiting for the traffic light. Despite Soulja initially denying responsibility, multiple witnesses supported the other driver's account, whose wife was 6 months pregnant at the time of the crash. Shortly after, Soulja changed his narrative, claiming it was his bodyguard driving, not him. Fortunately, no one suffered serious injuries. Ironically, the same red Bentley would be involved in a hit-and-run with a motorcyclist just over a year later. The motorcyclist was left seriously injured after colliding with the Bentley, which was making an illegal turn. It was later revealed that Soulja wasn't even in the car during that accident. His friend Arab was the driver. Arab was subsequently arrested, possibly contributing to the strain in their friendship. Number 3. Rick Ross. Rick Ross's mob boss image faced scrutiny when photos of him working as a correctional officer came to light years ago. Regardless of the authenticity of Ross's backstory, he has a penchant for putting himself in precarious situations. In July 2013, Ross was cruising through Fort Lauderdale, Florida in a Rolls-Royce when an unidentified shooter targeted him in a drive-by shooting, prompting Ross to try to escape. In the midst of the turmoil, Ross lost control of the Rolls-Royce, colliding with an adjacent apartment building and causing significant damage to the vehicle. Though unverified, speculation suggests that the shooting may have been provoked by remarks made about the respected gang leader Larry Hoover in Ross's track BMF. Ross had faced threats before over these comments, angering the Gangster Disciples, a gang with members in nearly every state. While some fans initially considered the shooting a potential stunt to promote Ross's upcoming album, no credible evidence ever surfaced to support this theory. Additionally, there are more straightforward ways to promote an album than wrecking a Rolls-Royce, such as securing a feature from Drake or releasing a diss track aimed at Eminem. Number 2. Travis Scott. This entry onto our list is not quite as severe as some of the others. There are no lawsuits or careening across multiple lanes of traffic, but it probably was pretty embarrassing for Travis Scott nonetheless. In May of 2016, Scott was spotted driving a Lamborghini Huracan in Glendale, California. A fan spotted Scott and began to record him from his apartment window. In the video, Travis can be seen getting into the vehicle outside of the Glendale Galleria. As he begins to back up his car, a panicked valet tries to stop him from backing up into a car behind him but fails. The Huracan taps the vehicle behind him, but apparently, Travis didn't want to go through the hassle of a formal report. After assessing the damage on the other car, he hops back inside his car and drives off. Number 1. Lil Baby. Lil Baby may excel as a rapper, but his driving skills leave much to be desired, as several instances of reckless driving and car damage can attest. However, one particular incident earns a spot on this list. While some of the accidents on this list have been caught on camera, most of the videos were captured by uninvolved parties. However, Lil Baby's latest car accident was caught on video by his own team and actually integrated into one of his own music videos. In the video for Lil Baby's track We Paid featuring 42 Dugg, Doug. The duo can be seen driving a pair of Dodge Charger Hellcats down the road, accompanied by their team. Around 2 minutes into the video, you can find a short clip in which Lil Baby appears to lose control of his vehicle and runs into the car driven by Doug. The crash itself is relatively mild, not even knocking over the person sitting on Doug's hood. However, the team's reactions add a humorous touch, considering the expensive nature of the cars involved. Despite this seemingly harmless incident, Lil Baby has a history of such occurrences. In 2019, he was arrested for reckless driving in a Corvette. Allegedly speeding on an Atlanta highway, Lil Baby attempted to evade a police officer but was eventually arrested when stuck in a traffic jam. Were any of the entries on this list unexpected for you? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments, and before you go, remember to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel.